Did you know that nearly 60% of people, more than half, have experienced emotional manipulation in their closest relationships? Think about that for a moment. Whether it's a partner whose affection feels like a weapon, a family member whose guilt trips twist love into obligation, or a coworker whose subtle mind games make you question your own reality, manipulation isn't just some rare occurrence. It's everywhere, hiding in plain sight, wrapped in concern, disguised as care. But what if I told you there's a timeless philosophy, forged in the fires of ancient struggle, that can not only expose these tactics, but disarm them completely, all while protecting your inner peace? That philosophy is Stoicism, and today, it's stepping into the ring against one of the most corrosive forces in human relationships. Welcome back to Quotes and Relax 95, where ancient wisdom meets modern struggles. Today, we're shining a light on something almost everyone faces, but rarely names out loud: manipulation in relationships. Why? Because manipulation isn't always a dramatic betrayal. Sometimes, it's a quiet drip, eroding your sense of self, convincing you that you're overreacting, too sensitive, or somehow always to blame. It's subtle, sinister, and it thrives in silence. But here's the truth: you're not powerless. In fact, you're far stronger than the manipulators want you to believe. Stoicism, a 2,000-year-old philosophy practiced by emperors, slaves, and warriors alike, offers the ultimate antidote, teaching you how to stay calm, clear-headed, and in control, even when you're being emotionally ambushed. By the end of this video, you'll discover: Keycap 1. How to spot manipulation before it tightens its grip. Keycap 2. Core Stoic mindsets that make you immune to emotional games. Keycap 3. Practical, no-nonsense strategies to guard your peace and turn toxic moments into fuel for your personal growth. Are you ready to stop reacting and start responding with the strength of a Stoic? Let's dive in. Manipulators aren't always the obvious villains we've come to expect. They rarely arrive wearing sinister grins or twirling their mustaches like cartoon antagonists. Instead, they often wear familiar faces: a friend you've confided in, a partner you've opened your soul to, or even a family member who once cradled you in their arms. They blend seamlessly into the fabric of your life, hiding their intentions behind smiles, acts of kindness, and the comforting illusion of care. But beneath that mask lies something more calculated: the subtle but deliberate art of manipulation, a slow unraveling of your sense of reality, your confidence, your very sense of self. Let's break down their methods, the tools they wield, not with brute force, but with precision, exploiting the very human desire for connection and belonging. Guilt tripping. After all I've done for you. How many times have you heard those words drip from the lips of someone you love? There's an almost hypnotic weight to them, isn't there? They echo in your mind long after the conversation ends, gnawing at the edges of your conscience. You feel a tightening in your chest, a sense that you owe them something: your compliance, your silence, your sacrifice. They conjure images of every past favor, every sacrifice they claim to have made, weaving a debt you never signed up for. Can you really call yourself a good person if you don't bend to their will? The invisible chains of obligation grow heavier, link by link, until they control your every move, not through force, but through guilt so thick it suffocates. Gaslighting. You're overreacting. That never happened. It's disorienting, isn't it? To hold a memory in your hands, only to have someone you trust tell you it's a figment of your imagination. They speak with such certainty, such conviction, that doubt creeps into your mind like a cold draft under a locked door. Maybe you are remembering wrong. Maybe your feelings are too much. With each denial, your confidence erodes like a cliff battered by relentless waves. You no longer trust your own mind, and that's exactly what they want. To make you question yourself so thoroughly that they become the sole architect of your reality. Your memory, your emotions, your truth, all rewritten to suit their needs. Love bombing. The grand gestures, the constant texts, the overwhelming affection. At first, it feels intoxicating. Who doesn't want to be adored? They make you feel like the center of their universe, drowning you in attention until you can barely breathe. But it's not love. It's a trap. They're building a pedestal not to worship you, but to make the fall hurt more when they inevitably pull it out from under you. The very warmth that drew you and will be used against you, turned cold and withdrawn the moment you dare to assert yourself. Can you tell where devotion ends and control begins? That's by design. Manipulation isn't always loud or violent. Sometimes it's a whisper, a sigh, a lingering glance meant to make you second-guess your worth. And that's what makes it so dangerous. You don't always realize you're the prey until the trap has already closed around you. Stoicism isn't about becoming an emotionless shell, nor is it about pretending life's hardships don't sting. It's about standing in the storm, feeling the rain soak through your skin, hearing the thunder crack above your head, and choosing, deliberately, how you respond. It's the art of mastering the space between stimulus and response, transforming that fleeting moment into your personal arena of power. Picture it not as cold suppression, but as the forging of mental armor, an unyielding shield formed from clarity, self-knowledge, and disciplined thought. Emotions still arise, but they no longer command you. They visit, they speak, but they do not rule. At the heart of Stoicism lie timeless principles, simple in theory, yet profoundly difficult to embody. They are not abstract philosophies to ponder over coffee. They are tools, sharpened through centuries, to be wielded in the chaos of everyday life. The dichotomy of control. What do you truly control in this life? The weather? Other people's opinions? The twists of fate? None of these. The Stoics sliced reality into two stark categories. What is within your control and what is not? Your actions, your words, your values, your boundaries, these belong to you. Everything else is external, beyond your command, as fickle as the wind. What happens when you release the need to control what was never yours to hold? Isn't that a kind of freedom we rarely taste? Virtue over outcomes. What if success wasn't measured by applause, wealth, or victory, but by the quiet knowledge that you acted with integrity, even when no one was watching? What if your worth came not from praise, but from the unwavering alignment between your values and your actions? The world may cheat you, betray you, misunderstand you, but if you remain rooted in virtue, have you really lost? The Stoics would say no. Character is the only possession no one can steal. Amor fati. Love your fate. Not just accept it, but embrace it like an old friend. The pleasant moments, yes, but also the heartbreaks, the failures, the betrayals. Each of them a sculptor, chiseling away your rough edges, shaping the person you were meant to become. Can you look at misfortune without bitterness, even with gratitude? What if every obstacle was life's way of preparing you for your next chapter? What if nothing was against you, but everything was for your refinement? Now, imagine this. Someone close to you, a partner, a parent, a friend, lays a heavy guilt trip at your feet. After all I've done for you, they say, their voice heavy with accusation. The air thickens, your chest tightens. But instead of folding, instead of apologizing for your boundaries, you meet their eyes with calm steadiness. I understand you're upset, you say, your voice soft but resolute. But my decision stands. No anger, No guilt, just the quiet confidence of someone who knows where their responsibility ends and another's begins. Isn't that the kind of strength we all crave? Not loud, not aggressive, but unshakable? This is Stoicism, not detachment from life, but deeper immersion in its currents, with the wisdom to know what you can control and the courage to release what you cannot. Let's strip away the theory for a moment and get practical, because knowledge is useless unless it lives in your hands, ready to be used when life tests you. Picture this. You're in a conversation that suddenly turns sharp. Their tone shifts, a subtle jab disguised as concern, a sigh heavy with implied disappointment, or a guilt-laced reminder of all they've done for you. You feel it, don't you? That internal tug-of-war between standing your ground and making yourself small just to keep the peace. But this time, you do something different. You reach into your mental arsenal and choose stoic clarity over emotional chaos. Step 1. Pause and reflect. In that heartbeat between their words and your response lies your power, if you seize it. You inhale slowly, letting the silence stretch longer than they expect. In that pause, you ask yourself, is this person respecting my boundaries? Are they honoring your autonomy? Or are they tugging invisible strings, hoping you'll dance? When you pause, you break the rhythm of manipulation. You shift from being a puppet to the one holding the scissors. How many times have you reacted out of habit, only to regret it later? What would change if you gave yourself permission to pause, just long enough to think? Step 2. Respond, don't react. Channel Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet understood the true battlefield was within. You have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't control their tone, their accusations, or their frustration, but you can control the words that leave your mouth. You can choose calm over combat, clarity over confusion. Instead of snapping back or justifying yourself, imagine answering with quiet composure. I hear you, but I need space to think this through. No theatrics, no defensive scramble, just stillness, the kind that unsettles manipulators who thrive on your agitation. Step 3. Set boundaries firmly. Boundaries are not walls to keep others out. They are lines that honor your worth. They are declarations of self-respect, spoken not with cruelty, but with unwavering clarity. When the conversation turns toxic, you don't need to scream to be heard. You simply state, I won't engage in this conversation until we can speak respectfully. There's no room for negotiation, no cracks for manipulation to seep through. Boundaries are not requests. They are declarations that say, I deserve better, and I'll wait until better arrives. Remember this, manipulators crave chaos. They feast on your defensiveness, your confusion, your desperate need to explain yourself. But Stoicism, practiced in these small, everyday battles, starves them of the very chaos they need to survive. It's your calm, your clarity, your refusal to play their game that robs them of their power. And that power, your power, has always been yours, waiting for you to claim it. Conclusion. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever stood face to face with manipulation and used Stoicism to hold your ground? Or maybe you're in the thick of it right now, searching for that inner calm? Share your story in the comments. Let's turn this space into a sanctuary of strength, where resilience isn't just a concept, but a shared experience. And if this message struck a chord, tap that like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe. Together, we're not just surviving manipulation. We're transforming every wound into wisdom, every challenge into unshakable power. Here's the unshakable truth. You'll never control the actions, schemes, or words of others, but you always hold the power to decide who you become in the storm. Will you crumble under the weight of their chaos? bending to every manipulation? Or will you rise, rooted like a stoic oak, unshaken by passing winds, declaring with quiet strength, "My peace is not up for negotiation"? The choice is yours. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay strong, stay virtuous, and never stop mastering the battlefield within. How will you respond to manipulation? Comment below.